2020 has been a hell of a year for all of us. So I thought I would end my year of vlogs, my vlogging experience, with a roundup of 8 big things that we've learned in this slightly mad experience. The first is the surprising success of working from home. It's not been perfect, but if you'd have told the banks and the lawyers and the airlines and everyone else 6 months before that everyone, 8 million people were going to move from working in their normal place of work to working remotely or at home on one weekend in March, they'd have said that it was insane. And yet, here we are. And the courts pretty much stayed open and are still operating. The banks all managed to deliver services. Things kept going as normal. Planes didn't fall out of the sky. To be fair, most of them didn't take off either, but we've got through it. And as Alaric pointed out in the summer, this has worked better in many practical ways than any of us might have predicted. But number 2, it's been a massively polarising experience. Some people have relished the year, avoiding their colleagues, avoiding their commute, hanging out with their family perhaps, or their dog, or just being on their own, and it suited them really well. But other people have been traumatised by lockdown, and Audrey Wiggin talked to us about this. They have been either overwhelmed by the needs of businesses that are falling apart and hugely stressful, combined with homeschooling, taking care of whatever challenges are inside their household, whatever challenges they might be grappling with in their personal life. And that has been massive. So we have to be aware of that, much as we have to be aware of how some businesses have thrived financially and done really quite well out of this, and the others have had the most awful year ever. Which brings us on to point 3, which is that productivity and efficiency are very, very clearly not the same thing. Lots of businesses that have surprisingly had a great year and are looking at the numbers going, ooh, hey, it wasn't that bad. Maybe we have to return some furlough money. Are also looking around teams and going, why are you so broken? Why are you so knackered? How is it you've all been working from 6 or 7 in the morning through to very late at night, not taking breaks, being bombarded with messages? And so we've made our numbers, but we've probably broken a few people on the way. So those organisations are going to have to think about the kind of things Bill Mitchell talks about in terms of resilience and keeping people together in the new year, but also rebuilding some boundaries that have been entirely lost through lockdown. Number 4, the headhunters have all noticed we are less connected to our employers than ever before. It's very easy right now to call someone up with an offer of a little bit more money and for them to say, well, I'm not sitting next to my best friend anyway, the commute's not particularly better or worse, whether I sit in this front room or the same front room with a different person on the screen, so I might as well take the money. So lots of firms are seeing a churn of people, which is expensive and difficult, and it's difficult to onboard people remotely. If I have a prediction for next year, it's that firms are going to be spending a lot more time on stabilising their key teams. And to that end, Chris Mitchell at Genuine Dining sent me some meals last week to have at home, some lunches, as a kind of experiment with something new where people don't have a canteen. And I think we'll see a lot of companies trying out different ways to engage people in loyalty programs with their organisation. 5, paranoia as normal. Well, we're all a bit paranoid. At BBDO, where I used to work, the ad agency, we used to have a value, which was healthy paranoia, which I was never honestly convinced by, but still, people have become more sensitive, more paranoid about the small things we say, chat things that were never intended as insults, but we have no gauge to reassure us. We don't have a smile or a trip down in the lift or a cup of coffee that puts things into perspective. And so we all have to work a little bit harder to make the people around us feel secure, and perhaps work a little bit harder on ourselves not to be too paranoid. The Financial Times did a great piece on this, and it's worth reading. Number 6, screen dazzle. How you show up on screen, it matters. Your energy, how you look, how you sound. And people have had to take real time and effort with it. We've had Alex Sujong Pang talking about the lighting, talking about the sound. We've had Ilka talking about your appearance. And we've looked at different backdrops and how you show up. But the most important thing is, what energy do you bring? And do people want to listen to you? Can you have an impact remotely? It matters now, and it's going to matter next year as well. Number 7, space for the new. As our calendars cleared out of all the usual things that we did, we discovered we had time for things that we'd never thought about or never considered doing or hadn't done for years and years. Airfix modelling, jigsaws, online yoga, couch to 2K. Everyone I know seems to be doing open swimming these days, even though it's freezing out there. Everyone seemed to get a puppy or a kitten or maybe a rescue dog. Lots of people are having babies. If you're not sure about a career change, I think a doula in March, April and May this year is going to be rushed off their feet. Consider it now. Finally, what we know is that this sadly isn't the end. There is so much still going on. It's great that the vaccine is being rolled out, but we're going to be working quite oddly for at least another 3 months, possibly another 6. So we've got to take the break. we've got to recover, we've got to come back ready to cope with more of this stuff before things might return to something like how they were before, but also very different. Signing off, I want to say thank you so much to all my watchers, and thank you for all your comments and feedback, for your messages. You have kept me sane this year. It's been amazing. And almost as importantly, maybe if I'm honest, even more importantly, I want to thank the incredible team who have made this happen week on, week out, and we haven't missed one yet. Say hi to the team, and I look forward to seeing you in January. Take care.